Sorry, I was on mute. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki cha Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki cha Tagore Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Thanks for joining the call today. So today and tomorrow we will have a little longer sessions to complete this Ramayana series. Okay, all right. So in the last session, we discussed that Nalakuvara and one moment. All right, Nalakuvara, he cursed Ravana that if Ravana is going to abuse any other woman without her will, if he has a sex with another woman without her will, then his head would break into 7 pieces, or sometimes it is 1,000 pieces. But so Ravana, he knew that, and then after that, he did not engage with all the abducted women in Lanka. So now Ravana, he crossed Kailasha mountain, and then he reached Amaravati, or Indra's kingdom with the heavenly planetary systems. So when the residents of Indralok, when they heard that Ravana had arrived, everyone started trembling with fear. So the Adityas, the Vasus, Rudras, Vishwadevas, Sadhyas, and Maruts, so they all got ready to fight with the Ravana as instructed by Indra, because Indra also got to know. So when Indra got to know, his throne was actually shaking. It wobbled. So all these demigods, their army was getting ready, and Ravana's army and Ravana were anyway, they were ready. So now the battle started between the demigods and Ravana's army. So when these demigods were engaging in fight, Indra, he went to Vishnu and he glorified Vishnu. And he said, "My dear Vishnu, what shall I do now? This Rakshasa is very powerful. Ravana is very powerful, and he has come here desiring to fight. And he is undefeatable because of the boons that he obtained. So please tell me that will you use a sword or a chakra to fight against this enemy in the battle?" Then Narayana said, "Don't be frightened, Indra. Listen to me. See, no demigod or Danava or anyone is capable of fighting against this Ravana. So because of the boon that he has been conferred on him, he is extremely difficult to vanquish. And he's intoxicated because of his strength. So he will, because of that intoxication, of that pride, that greed, He will go through all the worlds to conquer. And you asked me whether I will fight against him in the battle or not. No, I will not fight against Ravana, because I do not retreat from a battle without killing the enemy. But this Rakshasa has obtained a boon from Brahma. So, respecting Brahma's word, I will not attack him now. But I'm taking a pledge before you. I will be the reason for his death in a battle. In an encounter, in a great battle, I will kill Ravana and all his sons. Once I know that the time has arrived, I will satisfy all the demigods. So this was all happening at night of Amaravati in Indralok. So as Indra was talking, was engaged with Vishnu. So here, back in Indralok, what's happening is the battle began between the demigods and Rakshasas commenced, and it was terrible. There were tumultuous roars. Many kinds of weapons were being used in the battle. So Rakshasas were all very cruel. They don't follow a particular way to fight. So here Valmiki Maharshi gives all the names of the army generals in the Ravana's army. So there were Maricha, Prahastha, Mahaprashva, Mahodara, Akampana, Nikumbha, Shuka, Sarana, Sahlada, Dhumaketu, Mahadamshtra, Mahamukha, Jambumali, Mahamali, Virupaksha. So all these great Rakshasas, and I think in the previous sessions, you would have heard how they were all born also. So anyways, Sumali, who is Ravana's grandfather, he was surrounded by all these great generals, and they all proceeded to fight with demigods. So there was a great clash between demigods and the demons. The battle was raged between them. And the demigods, they tolerated whatever the Rakshasas did. And they gave they also oppressed many of the demons. And they did not retreat. So now what happened is Sumali got angry. Why? Because many demons were also getting killed. So many demons. And demigods were not retreating also. So he got angry, and he came into the battle with very strong force. He used many kinds of weapons, and he attacked the demigods in the battle. And he destroyed the demigods also. So like this, the demigods were driven away by Sumali. But the eighth Vasu, his name is Savitra. Savitra, he remained there. He did not retreat. He countered them in the battle. So now Sumali and Savitra are fighting. And Sumali is also not an ordinary person. He was very terrible in countering the Rakshasas. So he used hundreds of sharp arrows. He destroyed the chariot. Then to kill him, whose chariot? Sumali's chariot was destroyed by Savitra. So now the Savitra, he seized a club in his hand, and he struck on Sumali's head with this, and he brought him down. So that club or the mace, and with the energy, with the force that he hit Sumali, what happened is all the bones, the body, the flesh was no longer seen. Everything was reduced to ashes. because of that force, that energy, that power, he was burned to ashes. So Sumali was killed. Now Ravana's son saw this, and he also saw that all the soldiers, they have been driven away because of the arrows coming from demigods. Now Meghanatha, his name is Meghanatha, Ravana's son. So he remained there, and he made all the Rakshasas return. And now he started using his illusory potency, the Maya Shakti that he obtained as a boon. So he attacked the soldiers because he was not seen, and he was invisible, and he was fighting. So all the demigods were fighting. They couldn't see where they're getting the blows from. So now Indra, he saw that. He said, don't be frightened and don't run away. He addressed his demigods. So demigods, you all return to the battlefield. My son, he has never been vanquished. He is going to fight with Ravana's son. So Indra's son's name is Jayanta. So Jayanta and Meghanatha are now fighting. So there was a great clash between them. And it was, Valmiki Maharshi mentions that it is a fight between two equals. And the charioteer of Jayanta was Matali's son. Matali is the charioteer of Indra. So Matali's son is the charioteer of Indra's son. That is Jayanta. So now Jayanta also pierced back the. So when Matali's son was getting pierced by Meghanatha, Jayanta also pierced Meghanatha's charioteer. So they both exchanged a shower of arrows. So Meghanatha, he also seized many weapons coming from Jayanta, and he brought down large and very firm weapons like Shatagni, spears, javelins, clubs, swords, all of these. So the entire world was distressed. The worlds were distressed, and a great darkness was generated. So you see this, he also had one of the boon that Meghanatha received is that he can create darkness. So there was darkness everywhere. Now, Ravana's son, Meghanatha, he continued fighting, showering thousands and thousands of weapons onto Jayanta. And Jayanta was now getting afflicted. He started suffering in many ways. And it became dark also. So now the demigods started fleeing away. So at that time, there was a Daitya. His name is Puloma. So he is Jayanta's grandfather. That means Jayanta has, his mother is Shachi. Her name is Shachi. And Shachi is the daughter of Puloma. So Puloma, he came and he seized Jayanta and he ran away. He entered an ocean just to hide from Meghanatha, because Jayanta was already unconscious because of the blows that he's getting from Meghanatha. So now all the demigods witnessed that Jayanta was defeated by Meghanatha. So Ravana's son Meghanatha was very delighted, and the Rakshasas, the demons, they were shouting they were roaring with the words of victory. So Now Indra heard, oh, Matali, the Jayanta has been destroyed. He heard it in a way that his son is destroyed in the battle, because nobody could see in the darkness what happened to him. Uloma brought him, so he didn't know, but he thought maybe his son is killed. So now Indra asked Matali, you keep the charioteer ready. I will fight with Ravana. So now, as he was going from Amaravati to the battlefield, may all the Apsaras, the Rudras, the Vasus, and they all gave him their wishes. They blessed him to be victorious, and then he entered into the battlefield. So as he was going, he saw that sun lost its radiance, and giant meteors started to fall down in the battlefield. So that's kind of a, not a good sign. It's a bad omen. So now Ravana, he mounted a divine chariot which was constructed by Vishwakarma, and he told, he went into the battlefield. He also observed that Indra is going to come, so he restrained his son. He asked Meghanatha, don't fight with Indra, I will go and fight. You go and take rest. So now he himself advanced into the battle. So now Ravana's son he sat down, and Ravana started fighting. So Ravana was first started fighting with the demigods, and Indra was fighting with the Ravana's army. So again, a fierce battle emerged. It is mentioned that 1/10 of the army was reduced on the both sides. So whomever started, like in the beginning of the battle, whatever was the soldiers, the numbers on both sides, only 1/10 was there. That many demigods were fallen down, and because demigods had Amrita, some of them could live, but they were all fallen unconscious. And the demons were, once they were struck, they died, they all went to the Yamaraj Lok. So only 1/10 was still able to fight in that battlefield. So again, in that 1/10 also, they were not ordinary people, soldiers on both sides. So there was a river of blood started to flow. And that place was full of vultures, because these vultures, they know that, oh, this all meat is there. That means a lot of dead bodies are there, so they eat them. So now when Ravana saw that his side of army was getting defeated, he became very angry. And he saw that his entire army has been brought down by the demigods and Indra. Now he became angry. Then he encountered all the demigods, and now as Ravana was approaching Indra, he was radiant as sun. So he showered so many arrows on Ravana's head, but Ravana did not move. He still remained there. Now Ravana, he shot so many arrows which dislocated the Indra's bow. So now they fought against each other, and millions of arrows were showered in each direction, and everything was covered in darkness. So because of the darkness, what happened? The Rakshasas and demigods, they were fighting, and they killed each other, and they don't know whom are they fighting with also. So because of this darkness, what happened? People were all confused, but 3 of them were not confused. That is Indra, Ravana, and Meghanatha. So Ravana saw that all the forces have been killed by Indra's army. So now Ravana's son came in. So even before Ravana's son came in, what Indra mentioned is, see, now he told to his soldiers that it is best that we capture him because he cannot be killed by us. That is a boon. So it is best that we capture him, because when Bali Maharaj was also seized and captured, I enjoyed the three worlds very nicely. So in a similar way, the idea of capturing this wicked one, it appeals to me. So now they all try to capture Ravana, but Ravana also was not easily be able to get captured. So he showered down again so many weapons and arrows onto the demigod. Now Indra saw that his forces were getting compromised. So now that Meghanatha, he ascended his chariot and he started this illusory fight, the Maya Yuddha, that he becomes invisible and then he starts fighting. So what he did when he became invisible, he first captured Indra. So Indra was suddenly not seen in the battle. Then all the demigods, they became perplexed. Oh, where is our king who was supposed to be here? And Ravana is fighting. He's already getting wounded. He got exhausted fighting with these demigods. That time, the Meghanatha, he came and he told, my dear father, I have already captured Indra. What is the use of getting exhausted with fighting now? Well, let's go back to our city. I have captured Indra, we'll take him there. So Ravana also retreated. Yes, that's a good one. It's nice that you captured. There's no use of fighting now. So now Ravana and his forces, they all they stopped their fight and they returned to Lanka along with Indra. Now Brahma, Brahma along with some demigods, they all went to Lanka. So they approached Ravana, and at that time Ravana was surrounded by his sons and brothers. Then he said, my dear child, I'm very pleased with your son in the battle. That means with Meghanada. We are very pleased with with Meghanada in the battle. His valor and generosity are amazing. And they are like yours or superior to yours. I mean, the boons or the energy that he has is like yours. And with your own energy, you have conquered all the three worlds. So you have made your pledge, whatever promise you made in the beginning, that you wanted to oppress all the demigods. That is now true. All the three worlds, upper planetary systems, middle planetary systems, and lower planetary systems, they have all come under your one moment. They all have come under your subjugation now. So I'm pleased with your son. So Ravana, that's why he will be very famously called as Indrajit. Jit means someone who had won over. So Meghanatha, he won over Indra. So that's why this name. So we will call him Indrajit. So you please set him free. You release him, because the upper planetary systems, they also have to rule. They need a king. So you would release him. In return for setting him free, let us know what you want. We will give you boons. Then Meghanatha said, yes. So in return for setting him free, I desire immortality. Brahma said, that's not possible. Then Indrajit said, then fine. Whenever I worship the fire, or whenever I do the fire sacrifice, and I render oblations into the fire prior to going to the fight, if I complete it successfully, then I should not get defeated in that battle. The only way if someone can kill me is if I fight before completing the rituals, before offering the oblations into the fire. If I fight, then only then it is possible for me to be killed. Then Brahma said, sure, if that is a desire, definitely I grant you that boon. So now Indra was freed by Indrajit, and along with now all the demigods, they started going back towards their kingdoms in the heavens. But Indra was distressed. So Brahma said, why are you distressed? Why are you suffering from this anxiety? Remember the wicked deed that you have committed earlier. So now he tells the story. What happened? So he says that once I have created the most beautiful woman in the entire creation. Her name was Ahalya. So after she was created and she came to the right age, I bestowed her to Gautama Muni. So, but before even that itself, all of you wanted to, when actually the story goes that when Ahalya was born, Brahma is anyway very busy with a lot of work. So he gave this child to Gautama Muni to take care. So Gautama Muni brought her up in the ashram very nicely. And then when she came to the right age, Gautama Muni presented her to Brahma and said she came to the right age, she has to get married. So please, get her married. Then Brahma, he put a Swayamvara. That means he invited all the demigods, all the whoever willing to marry Ahalya. So the demigods also came there. But when they came there, the rule was the competition was whoever circumambulates Earth first, and who comes back, he will get Ahalya in his hand. So all the demigods, they mounted their vehicles and they started towards Mother Earth to circumambulate. Meanwhile, Gautama Muni, he saw that there was a cow. So he circumambulated the cow in Brahmalok and they presented himself. So now by this time, all the other people, all the demigods, they came back after some time. Then Brahma said, see, all of you have failed. Gautama Muni has succeeded because cow is considered to be Mother Earth, is a form of Mother Earth. So when you circumambulate the cow, it means that all the demigods, they are present in the body of the cow, including Mother Earth. So he knew that, Gautama Muni knew that secret. It's not a secret. It's basically did not this idea of circumambulating around the cow did not even trigger in the minds of demigods. So all the demigods became upset. Actually, when demigods came, it was mentioned that Ahalya and Indra, they exchanged their looks. So Indra also loved her. Ahalya also was wanting him to be her husband. But anyway, Brahma gave her in the gave her in marriage to Gautama. So Gautama Muni married. And later on, when the time came, what happened one day, because of the lust that Indra had, he, in the absence of Gautama Muni, he had intercourse with Ahalya. And Ahalya also knew that it is Indra. And she accepted. She agreed it. So when Gautama Muni came to know, he cursed Indra. And he said that he will be he will lose his testicles and all that, and also that a great catastrophe will come upon him. So Brahma, and then Ahalya was also said that you have to get purified first of all, because of the mind, because you also wanted to enjoy, right? So you have to get purified. You stay here, and he gave all the instructions that you have to do a great austerity, great tapasya here. You have to meditate here for many years, and then you'll get purified. Anyway, she did that, and then at the end, Lord Rama came, and then she was relieved from the curse. So, coming back, so now Brahma is telling, because of that curse, that you will have to face catastrophe and misfortune. Today, you got defeated from Ravana and his son. So anyway, now you quickly perform a Vaishnava sacrifice, Vaishnava yajna, and then you will get purified, and then you can go back to the Indralok, your heavenly planetary system. So Indra performed the Vaishnava sacrifice, and then he went back to Indralok. So when Rama was hearing all this, he was surprised, astounded. So he bowed down again and again to and addressed Agastya Maharshi, because all this is explained by Agastya Muni to Rama. So he asked, then was the entire world, if it is defeated by Ravana, was anyone left? Was anyone be able to rebuff Ravana? Did anyone, was he ever got defeated by anyone? So please explain. Then Agastya Muni said, yes, there are, see, in his boon, he has not asked for two people. That is, like, one are humans and other one are monkeys. He said that I don't even care about them. But I should not be killed by other kind of species. He named all of them except these two. So now Agastya Muni gives those encounters, those things that happened with these two different species. So the first one is the king Kartavirya Arjuna. So Kartavirya Arjuna, his name is Kartavirya Arjuna. That is the entire name, Kartavirya Arjuna. So he is a very powerful king. He had 1,000 hands, 1,000 hands. And he was ruling the kingdom of Mahishmati. Okay, the city named called Mahishmati. He was ruling there. And he's the king of Haihayas. There was a Haihayas are one kind of group of that kingdom, or the people. They are all called Haihayas. So he was ruling them. Now one day, this Ravana, he went to Mahishmati, and he shouted, "Oh, Kartavirya Arjuna, come out! I will want to fight with you. If you don't want to fight with me, then you accept your defeat, and I'll go away from here." But the ministers of Kartavirya Arjuna, they said that he's right now, the king is not here. Okay, you go to the Vindhya mountains. So he's sporting there with many women in that in the river Narmada. There is a river Narmada. He's sporting there. You go to Vindhyachala mountains. So now Ravana, he withdrew all his powers because he was ready to fight. So he withdrew all his forces and he went towards the Vindhyachala mountains. So Vindhyachala mountains is so beautiful. Right now it is not, because of Agastya Muni himself later. I'll cover this story later. But at that time, Vindhyachala mountain had 1,000 peaks. So beautiful, very tall. And so Ravana, along with his army, they went to Vindhyachala mountains. So there were waterfalls with cool water descending. And there were lofty peaks that were rising up to the heaven. There was very, very tall peaks. Even the demigods, the Gandharvas, Kinnaras, they used to come there and sport with their wives. And there were a very large number of apsaras, heavenly damsels. They also used to come there because the waters there all had sparklings, clear. They were all sparkling water, and the caves were radiant, and it looked like as if the Vindhyachalas are like Himalaya mountains, as great as Himalaya mountains. So when Ravana, he saw that beautiful Vindhyachala mountains, he proceeded towards the river Narmada. So now the river, there were two kinds of rivers. The rivers that flow in the east and that flow in towards the west normally. So this river was flowing towards the west. That's why they're called Nada. Nadi and Nada. Nadis are ones that flow towards east, and Nadas are the ones that flow towards the west. And Narmada is considered to be one of the sacred river. So Valmiki Maharshi now mentions the beautiful scenery there. There were many different kinds of buffalo, shrimaras, lions, tigers, bears, beautiful elephants. So they all used to come there because of the heat, and they drink the purified waters. There are chakravakas, karandavas, swans, waterfowls, cranes. So many auspicious birds were also dwelling there. So the atmosphere, very soothing atmosphere was around. So reaching the river Narmada, Ravana, he quickly descended from his Pushpaka Viman and he bathed there. And he also sported along its banks, which had like many kinds of flowers. And after that, he sat there with his advisors. So when he sat there, he says that even he observed that even though the sun was at its peak on the head, it is not radiating that heat because of the fear from Ravana. The sun is behaving like the moon. That means the sun rays are cooler as a moon, and it's not hot. The waters of Narmada, they were very cool and fragrant, and it is destroying all the exhaustion. The wind, because of the fear, Ravana is saying, because of its fear of me, the wind is also blowing in a very controlled way, in a restrained way. So now he ordered all his advisors and soldiers, you also please come here and you take bath. Okay, because it will relieve you from all the exhaustions. This happens when you observe, when you actually take bath in a flowing river, it takes away your exhaustion. There is a difference when you take bath in a shower in your bathroom and the bath when you take it in a river. It takes away the exhaustion. So Ravana, all his exhaustion was taken away and he became energetic. And he ordered all his soldiers also to take a dip. But he said that, I wanted to worship Lord Shiva here. So normally wherever he goes, he carries a golden Shivalinga. Shivalinga, the deity of Shiva in the Linga form. So he wants to worship. So he ordered that, please bring all the flowers, like lotuses and all the flowers which are on the water, lilies and all those, and other flowers on the trees and the branches which are on the banks of the Narmada. You please bring them and I will worship the deity here. So Now they took bath, and then the soldiers, they all plucked all different various kinds of flowers. They kept it next to Ravana. That itself was a big mountain, it seems. So after that, Ravana was started worshipping the deity. Uh, Meanwhile, what had happened is, in a very very close to where Ravana was there, Kartavirya Arjuna, along with many women, he was also sporting in Narmada. So in the downstream, what the Kartavirya Arjuna was there, and he wanted to show the power to the women. So what he did, he had 1,000 hands. He stopped the flow of the Narmada river with his 1,000 hands. He blocked. So that created it became like a dam, and all that flowing downwards, the water, it started to accumulate. And now it went to a point where now the water is flowing in the reverse direction because of the height and all that of the dam created by Kartavirya Arjuna. The water started to flow in the reverse direction. That means the water started to flow in the eastwards, not westwards. It's going up. It's going up. So when that happened, it flooded the banks, and along that flooding, it flooded the place where Ravana was also worshipping. So his rituals were not complete, and at that time, it flooded the banks, and it flooded all that place, and all that the flowers that were there, they were all taken away by the flood waters. And Ravana got angry. So with his eyes, left eye, he signed, he gave a signal to Shuka and Sarana, go and find out what is the reason of this flood. So both Shuka and Sarana, they flew in the air, and just when they reached a half a yojana distance, that means 4 miles in downstream, they found Kartavirya Arjuna was blocking the flow of the river. He had barricaded the river with his 1,000 arms. And at that time, they saw that there were 1,000 young and excellent women around him who were praising Kartavirya Arjuna. So this is one of the reasons they say in Bhagavad Gita also, it says that when there is a woman, unnecessarily what will happen is the men would like to show their power or superiority in the presence of a woman. So similarly, Kartavirya Arjuna was doing it here. So now they returned and they told to Ravana all that had happened. So now Ravana, along with his army, they all approached. They came near to Kartavirya Arjuna, and Kartavirya Arjuna saw that. Oh, some Rakshasas are approaching, but he was still sporting, in the river and all that. So now he advised Ravana told to his advisors, go and tell to Kartavirya Arjuna that Ravana has come here to fight. So hearing these words, Kartavirya Arjuna's ministers and his advisors, they came to Ravana and they are told, Ravana, you are very virtuous. You have determined to have a fight with Kartavirya Arjuna. But right now the king is been drinking and is surrounded by women. He's intoxicated. So you give him a day. You can fight with him tomorrow. But if you want to fight with us now, then first you have to face us, and only after killing us you can actually approach Kartavirya Arjuna. So Ravana's advisors, they killed the Kartaviryaarjuna's advisors. And because these Rakshasas were so hungry, they devoured the ministers of Kartaviryaarjuna. They all ate him up. So now Kartaviryaarjuna's army was also there. So they clashed against Ravana's, and there was a terrible clash between the two armies. And Prahastha, that means Ravana's advisors, generals, army generals, Prahastha, Shuka, Sarana, they consumed the Kartavirya's forces. While Kartaviryaarjuna was still sporting, all the army was consumed by Ravana's generals. Then one of the gatekeepers, or the protectors around that sporting area, he came to Kartaviryaarjuna and said that all the forces have been killed. Now Ravana is approaching. So now the women were also frightened. Now Kartavirya said, don't be afraid of him. I will go and take her. Now he slowly rose up from the Narmada river, and he unblocked the flow, and he came out of that with 1,000 hands. He started giving a strong battle to Ravana. Actually, even before even approaching Ravana, Prahastha attacked Kartavirya, and Kartavirya, with one club, with great force, he came upon to the head of Prahastha, and Prahastha was he fell down, but he didn't become like an ashes or something. He fell down. He could not. He sustained that power, but he became unconscious. So on seeing that Prahastha was fallen down, Maricha, Shuka, Sarana, Mahodara, Dhumraksha, they all withdrew from the field and they ran away. Now Ravana saw that, and now Ravana, he started attacking Kartaviryaarjuna. And here Valmiki Maharshi mentioned that again, this was a fight between equals. They were doing fist fighting, fighting with various weapons. And after a great fight, what happened is Kartaviryaarjuna, he took a club and he hit the armor of Ravana. That armor also Ravana got from through a great tapasya. And that armor was shattered into 2 pieces and it fell down. Now the club that was released by Kartavirya, it struck Ravana. And Ravana also became, he was moved, he was totally shattered, and he was suffering from that blow. So Kartaviryaarjuna saw that, and he immediately seized him. He captured Ravana through that 1,000 arms, and he bound him with various ropes, with various mantras and all that. He bound him. Now Kartaviryaarjuna, as he was returning to his Mahishmati kingdom, he got it. He brought the bound Ravana also to the kingdom. Now, meanwhile, Prahastha, when he regained his senses, he saw that Ravana was being bound, and all the other Rakshasas, demons, they're also rushing towards the king, and they were saying, "Please wait for us. You release him. You let him go." But Arjuna, Kartaviryaarjuna, he was not afraid of them. So he brought this demon Ravana to his kingdom. He entered the city. And the Brahmanas and the citizens, they all showered various flowers upon him for being so victorious. So when this happened, Ravana's grandfather, Pulastya, okay, he heard that the demigods are conversing about this in the heaven. That finally that Ravana had met someone who is much stronger than him, and he's captured. So now Pulastya Brahma, he's a Brahmalok citizen. So from there, when he came down, he was radiant. He was effulgent. So he came to Maheshmati, and immediately Kartavirya when he heard about his arrival, he immediately came to him, offered him obeisances, offered him all the Arghya Padya, Achmana, all the water to clean his feet and to wash his hands, and uh, gave some water to drink and something to eat. So he worshipped Pulastya, and they said, "You are such a great sage. I have been purified by looking at you. My lineage has been elevated with your presence in Maheshmati. So please tell me, please command me, is there anything that you wish me to do?" Then Pulastya said that, see, since you have vanquished Ravana, your strength is infinite. Because my grandson is extremely difficult to defeat. The oceans and the wind, they remain immobile and stationary because of the fear for him. But you have captured him today. So your fame has been enhanced and your name has been heard everywhere. I am also hearing about you in the upper planetary systems. But please listen to me and you release him. So Kartavirya Arjuna, he accepted Pulastya's command and very cheerfully he released Ravana. And then he honored Ravana with very divine ornaments, garlands and garments and all various gifts and all that. And then after bowing down before Pulastya Brahma, then Kartavirya Arjuna, he returns to his residence. And now Pulastya also, he goes back to his abode. But Ravana, although he was embraced and he was treated like a guest in Maheshmati, he was ashamed. He was very ashamed. But anyways, he came back to Lanka, but now he did not stop his wrath. He was still going, meeting many kings on earth, and then he was defeating them. So this is one account of where he got defeated. Now the second account is with Vali. So one day he went to Kishkintha. So see, even now when he got defeated, his ego was not subsided. Whenever he heard that any demon or human was superior in strength, Ravana would approach him and he would challenge him to a fight. So like that, he went to Kishkintha once. And at that time, the advisor of Vali, his name is also Tara. And Tara is actually the father of the wife of Vali, who she's also been addressed as Tara. Okay, both the father and daughter are basically, they have the same names, Tara. So now the advisor Tara told that, see, this is early morning during the Sandhya time. Vali has gone to the southern seashore to perform the Sandhya Vandan. So you remain here for some time. So after performing the Sandhya in the four oceans, Vali will soon return. And he showed, see, Ravana, you wish to fight with Vali, right? You look at all the piles of bones that are as white as conch shells. Look at this pile. These belong to those who came here with a desire to fight with Vali. Ravana, if you wish to live happily, or he basically says, if you wish to live happily, don't fight with Vali. But if you have drunk the juices of Amrita, that means the nectar, then only you go and fight with Vali. Otherwise, your life will be over. And if you want to die quickly, you go to the southern ocean, you will see Vali there. He is bowing down before the sun there. So Ravana, Ravana along with his advisors, he mounted Pushpaka Viman and he left for the southern ocean. So Ravana saw that Vali was there and he was engaged in Sandhya worship, Sandhya Vandana. And he was very effulgent. Vali was also very effulgent. So he thought that he will quickly go and capture Vali, and Vali is also very, he, in the Kishkinda Kanda explained that he's faster than the speed of light. So he heard, oh, someone this Ravana is approaching here and he has ill intentions to capture me. So what he did when Ravana came, he immediately captured him. Who? Vali captured Ravana under his armpits. He completed his Sandhya Vandana there and Ravana could not even move because of his capture. On his side, he captured. And along with Ravana, Vali jumped from southern ocean to, it says, then western ocean. So then he performed Sandhya Vandana there. He bathed and he chanted there. After performing his Sandhya Vandana there, then he jumped to the northern shore. Then he again took bath, again he chanted, then he did Vandana. From there, he jumped to Eastern Ocean. So the Western Ocean could be the Europe, the Northern is about Russia, the Western is the China. He did it, all that, holding Ravana under his arms. So he held him and then he jumped. So he was so fast that the Rakshasas advisors, the other advisors generals who were following Ravana, they couldn't withstand the force and they fell down from their positions on the sky. They fell down. So finally, after he came back, he came back to Kishkinda from Eastern Ocean. And then he released Ravana. Ravana rolled on the floor and then he got up. Then Ravana said, my dear, he agreed that, in fact, I came here to give a fight, to have a fight with you, but you are very strong. And he glorified Vali. There are only three creatures who possess this kind of movement. One is a thought, that means how fast, the speed of the mind, the wind, and Suparna. Suparna is one of the demigod. So I have witnessed your strength. So in front of a fire, like Agni Sakshi, the witness of a fire, I desire to contract an everlasting contract of friendship with you. So see, such a bad contract it is. He said, all the wives, the sons, the cities, the kingdoms, the objects of pleasures, garments, objects of pleasures, which include even prostitutes, the garments, the food, everything else that I possess will be divided and it belongs to both of us. Whatever you have is mine, whatever I have is yours. See, even wives, he says, even wives. See how demoniac he is. So after that, both of them, they lit the fire and they they promised on the fire, and they had the friendship. And then Ravana resided there for a month. So after that, only his advisors, they were searching, oh, where is my Ravana? And then finally they found him. And now they said, no, it's time for us to go. So then Ravana, he left Kishkinda along with his advisors, and they went to Lanka. Now Rama says that yes, Vali and Ravana, they were very, they had great strength. But in my view, they were not as powerful as Hanuman. And now he glorifies Hanuman. He says that the power, the skill, the strength, patience, wisdom, attainment of very good policies, valor and power, which Hanuman has, no one else has it. I mean, these Vali, and especially the Vali and Hanuman, Ravana, does not have that. You see, this Hanuman, when they all saw the ocean, when they were finding Sita, when on seeing the ocean, the monkey army was distressed. But this Hanuman, he crossed 100 yojanas. He went to Lanka. He went to Ravana's inner quarters. He spoke to Sita and comforted her. Single-handedly, Hanuman, he brought down the best of the soldiers, the sons of the ministers, and even he killed Ravana's son. And then when he was captured, he freed himself from the bondage, and he gave all the good advice to Ravana, and then he burned down the entire Lanka, and he came back. And he said, if Hanuman was not there, I don't know how I would have ever been victorious in this battle. You know, that is a humbleness of Lord Ramachandra that he's saying. And now he asks, if such a great Hanuman was there, he was there with Vali also. And when there was an enmity between Sugriva and Vali, why did Hanuman not protect Sugriva from Vali at that time? Why Hanuman did not burn Vali? Can you please explain? And then Rama says, I wanted to hear about Hanuman, what is his past and all that. So in Hanuman's presence, so Hanuman was also present. So in Hanuman's presence, Agastya Muni, he addressed and he told all the stories, the history of Hanuman. So he said, yes, my dear Rama, whatever you have said about Hanuman is true. No one else who is as equal in strength and speed and intelligence as Hanuman is. So he tells about the entire story, that there was a mountain which is named as Sumeru, okay, which is not on earthly planetary systems, other planetary systems, it is upper planetary systems. So there was a ape, or there was a monkey, his name is Kesari. He used to rule over that kingdom in the Sumeru, and his beloved wife was known as Anjana. So she gave both, Anjana gave birth to Vayu's excellent son. That means, actually it is mentioned that it was Shiva's semen which was kept along with Vayu, and then Vayu, with his power, and Anjana Devi was doing a tapasya, so Vayu delivered that semen into the womb of Anjana, and so that's why he's also called as Vayuputra, Hanuman. So Anjana, he gave birth to a son, that means Hanuman, in that place. So that is they say sometimes it is Anjanadri, which is one of the hills in Venkatachala, in the Tirupati hills. So she did great tapasya there to get Hanuman. So after he was born, and one day when he was, was growing up, was a toddler, or monkeys, right? So they're not like humans. Humans and few other species, right after they're born, they cannot walk or something. Little time they will take. But animals, the moment they are born, once they're dropped down, immediately they get up and they walk and they run. Like cows, giraffes, or even elephants, like that. So Anjana Devi, when she gave birth, Hanuman, for after some days, what happened? He was ready to go to even fly. So he was very hungry, and his mother had gone to collect some fruits and all that to for her child. So this son Hanuman, he saw that the sun was setting, and it looked like a fruit. If you see, when the sun is setting, it is in a little reddish orange color. So he saw that, and it looked like a nice fruit, such a huge fruit it is. So he jumped from there and he started traveling very fast in the sky to capture that fruit. And at that time, Vayudev saw that. And he was also amazed. Oh, my son is going like this. So what he did is he engulfed, or Hanuman, with the radiance of sun, because when he goes towards sun, he'll get burnt, right? So he also increased the radiance and the energy around Hanuman, so that he won't get burnt. So he went and he was capturing the sun god. And sun god was actually, at that time, it was a day of eclipse. So at that time, it was Rahu who was supposed to cover the sun, but Hanuman was covering. So Rahu, he went to Indra and he complained, "What is this? You have given me this thing that once a time I'll be engulfing sun for my food, and now this is someone else who is coming." So now Indra along with Rahu, they come there, and by this time, Hanuman, he also he was almost, although he was a boy, he also expanded himself as big as the sun as he was going close, and Vayu was helping him. Okay. So it is mentioned that Vayudev, he wished to protect Hanuman from the fear of being burned down by the sun. So the wind around Hanuman was as cool as the ice. So when Indra and Rahu, when they came there, they saw that Hanuman was already or captured sun god, and when Hanuman saw that Rahu has come, so now Hanuman was jumped onto Rahu to capture him. He found Rahu more interesting. So Indra saw that, and he used his Vajra Yudha. He had a weapon which is called as Vajra. He used his weapon to hit him hard. And with that blow, what happened is he got a dent on his cheek. His cheek was little dislocated and he fell unconscious. So when this happened, Vayu became very angry. How could my son be beaten up like this? So since he's wind, so now there are different kinds of winds. Even in our body, there are different kinds of winds, air components, it is told. So he froze the entire air component, the wind component in this universe. There was no movement of the wind. And immediately he saw the nobody was able to move. No living entity was able to move because of the wind component being frozen. And all the living entities were dying. So now the demigods, they all went to Brahma and they approached him and they prayed him. You see, this is what this is what has happened. Now Brahma, along with the other demigod, they all came uh, uh, to that place where all this was happening, and uh, they uh, Brahma told Vayu, "Don't worry, with my touch, your son will be born again. Not born again. He'll get his life again." So Brahma touched, he got his life back, and then Brahma ordered, "Let all of you, all the demigods, bestow some boon upon this child," because Vayu was very angry. So Shiva also conferred a boon upon Hanuman. One moment. So you see, Brahma says because his jawbone was shattered because of the Vajra released from the hand of Indra, his name will be Hanumat. Hanu means a dent. Hanuman. Okay, Hanumat. So like that, now each demigod started giving boons to Hanuman. Brahma said that none of my weapons will ever be able to capture or kill Hanuman. Then Indra also said that my own Vajra will never be able to kill him. Martanda, he said that I'll give 100 part of my energy so that he possesses the capability to study the sacred texts, the Vedas. Martanda is another one, sun god. Okay. So Suryadev gives that he will get 100th part of my energy. So in other place, not in Valmiki Ramayana, other place it is mentioned that Hanuman had his Gurukul in on the sun planet. At that time, sun planets, the Gurukul was the highest in the entire creation. They used to come to sun god's place to get the education. So Hanuman, he got his Gurukul over there. So that's when our sun god also gives that I'll give this much energy to him so that he can study the Vedas here. And I will grant him sacred texts and he'll become very eloquent in speech. Then Varuna also said that for a million years he would never die from waters. Then Yamaraj said that his staff or the noose that he holds will never be able to kill Hanuman, and he would never suffer from disease. And he will never be distressed in the battles. Rather, he'll always be very happy in the battles. Then one of them, other demigods, said that my club will not be able to kill him. Then Shankara, that means Shiva, said my weapons or weapons that come from me will not be able to kill Hanuman. So everyone gave all, Vishwakarma also gave a boon. And Vishwakarma said that I have made all kinds of weapons for demigods. So at the time of battle, none of these weapons will be able to kill him. And Brahma said he will cause no fear to the enemy, and he will grant his friends the freedom from the fear. So, my dear Vayu, your son Maruti, he will be invincible. In battles, he will bring suffering to Ravana, and he'll bring great pleasure to Ramachandra. So, like this, saying all this, now all the demigods, they went back, and Vayu and also he went back, and then Hanuman, he came back to the Sumeru mountain. Now, after he came back, then Hanuman told all the things that happened to his mother, about the boons that were conferred upon him. So now Agassamani is saying, my dear Rama, so Hanuman, he obtained all these boons. So now these boons added to his strength. and his strength was like as if it was like an ocean. So without any fear, he started to cause harm to many great sages in their hermitages. He used to simply, in a playful mood. If you see monkey, it is not stable. It keeps going around from one place to another place. It always, very mischievous. So Hanuman used to do many mischievous deeds. He used to shatter and destroy the ladles, the vessels for Agnihotra sacrifices, the piles of barks that Maharshis used to keep. But all the Maharshis are very peaceful, and he could not be killed by even the Brahmadandas. Brahmadandas are the staff that the great sages use to rest their arm. So Maharshis knew this, so they cursed him. Okay, what it actually they were moderately angry. They were not like too angry. They used to pardon him because of the mischievous activities. But one day when it came to a peak, uh, they cursed him. They said, "You are misusing your strength now. Therefore, we curse you that you will not remember it for a long period of time. Unless when it is required, you will not remember about your strength." So now Agastya Muni is saying, because of that curse, although he had all the energy, he could never use it, or he was unable to remember it. And he explains, so Vali and Sugriva's father is Riksharaja. So when Riksharaja, when he left his world, when he died, Vali was consecrated as the king, and Sugriva was at Vali's feet. So unless the Sundarakanda or Kishkindha when Jabali, when he knew all this power, and when he helped in releasing the curse of Hanuman did not know about his own power. And then he also explains that who are other great. Agastya Muni says that there is Sugriva, Mainda, Dvivida, Nila, Tara, Tareya, Anala, Rambha. All of them, they were all born from the energies of demigods for your sake, Rama. They were all born for your sake, to serve you. So, whatever you have asked me, Rama, I have told you. And there is nothing now that is left. So, we will all leave now. So, saying this, all the rishis, the great sages, they went away from where they had come from. So now this is like first 36 chapters of Uttara Ramayana, Uttara Kanda. 36 chapters. So if you see, this first chapter only, the Agastya Muni had come. And now he explains, Rama asked why they're all very powerful. What is the history of Ravana? So here almost for 30 chapters, Agastya Muni explains the prowess of Ravana. Anyways, so now they took all leave. Now Rama, see, all the kings had come, right? So the Rama had one of the king. His name is Pratardana. He was a close friend to Rama, and he's a king of Kashi. So he said, my dear friend, you have all exhibited your affection towards me, and with Bharata, you made great efforts. What are those efforts? So it looks like as if that Bharata came to know about the abduction of Sita Devi. Okay. And Bharata, he immediately called all his allies, so that they could help Rama. So Pratardana also came there. But when they were discussing itself, what had happened is the entire war was over. Ravana was killed, and Rama, Sita, Rama, Lakshmana, they all came back. And they were all discussing about this at that time. So Rama said that with Bharata, you have made great efforts. So they made great efforts also. So now he gave them permission that you can leave to Varanasi. Varanasi is a very holy place. Okay, it is mentioned in Puranas also. So you can leave to Varanasi and Kashi, and you start ruling there nicely. So both Rama and Pratardana, they embraced each other, and they left, and he left. Then one by one, all the kings also, they took leave of Rama, and they were leaving. So Rama also addressed all of them together. They said, your affection is very deep towards me. All of you are very controlled and devoted to dharma and the truth. And because of maybe all your blessings, I was able to kill Ravana. So this is humbleness of Lord Ramachandra. I'm just an instrument. And he says, when Bharata Maharaj heard that Janaki, that is Sita Devi, was abducted in the forest, Bharata had summoned all of you here. And all of you great kings assembled here along with your full armies to make efforts. But now that all this has, and he thanks all of them to, like, even the thought of helping Rama is a service. Not actually doing, leave about doing. A thought or even small effort. Now, if you see, they have not actually helped in Rama Ravana's Yuddha. But Ravana is he is very grateful to them. And he says that since the consecration, a long time has passed, and I think the idea of your return, it appeals to me. So the kings were also filled with great delight. And they said, Rama, yes, it's a very good fortune that you have been victorious and you are established in this kingdom. It's good fortune that Sita has been got back. It's good fortune that the enemy has been defeated. And it is our supreme desire also. So we wanted to see you victorious and the enemy killed. So, and then they actually they praised Rama so much. Your generosity, his generosity is great. And they also said that we all seek your leave to depart, and you will always remain in our hearts. We will always be very affectionate towards you. So all the great soul kings, they all left in different directions. And Valmiki Maharshi mentions that the earth trembled as those kings, when they cheerfully left for their own cities, the earth trembled. Why? Because there were thousands of Akshauhinis that had come and assembled. One Akshauhini yesterday or the day I was mentioning that it has got a count that there are 60,000 foot soldiers, there are 21,000 elephant warriors, then 40,000 horse warriors, then 21,000 23,000 chariot warriors. This is called one Akshauhini Sena. Thousands of Akshauhini Senas have assembled there around Ayodhya. Because to help, when Bharata summoned all of them. Now all of them were they were returning. And they were all like talking to each other, and they were cursing sometimes each other. They were saying, see, we were all unable to help Rama. We were not able to witness that Rama and Ravana's Yuddha. Bharata, by the time Bharata summoned us, it was already late. And then they were all talking like this, what is the use that we couldn't be of any help to Lord Ramachandra? So, and so thousands of the kings, it's mentioned, thousands of kings, they were conversing in this way. And there were many other ways. So now they were not just sent away. Actually, Rama made sure that Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna, they personally go with them and leave them at their places safely and come back. So Bharata, Lakshmana, and Shatrughna, on their return, all these kings, they gave great gifts again to Lord Ramachandra. They said, please, give all these gifts to Lord Rama. So Bharata, Lakshmana, Shatrughna, they collected all those treasures also, and they returned again to Ayodhya. So similarly, then Raghava, he accepted all those gifts. That means Rama accepted the gifts. And then he gave all the gifts to Sugriva and Vibhishana. Not only them, all other bears, apes, Rakshasas, everyone. During Rama's time, you see, both demons, that means Rakshasas, men, humans, apes, monkeys, animals, everyone were there. Everyone were very happy in the presence of Lord Ramachandra's rule. So all of them, they got the gifts actually. So whatever gifts that were given to Rama, Rama gave them all of those gifts back to, they gave them to Sugriva and his army, and Rakshasas, Vibhishana and his armies. So they drank, many kinds of juices, they had nice food every day, sweet fruits, and like this they resided for more than a month there. But because of their love towards Rama, it looked like as if they had spent only an instant. Although a few months had passed, but it looked like as if only a moment has passed. And Rama was also very happy looking at those monkeys and who helped him in the battle. So like this, now the second month, third month, they also passed. Then finally, Rama told Sugriva, now it's the time for you to return. So you go back to Kishkindha, and that he says that this Kishkindha is without thorns. So thorn is a tamoguna plant. All the thorny plants are of tamoguna. That means those such kingdoms don't have those plants. That means it's very sattvic. So you go back to Kishkindha, it is without any thorns, and with nice advisors you rule over the kingdom. And then he says that you take care of Hanuman, Angada, Nala, Sushena, your father-in-law Tara, then Kumuda, Neela, Shatabali, Mainda, Dvivida, Gaja, Gavaksha, Gavaya, Sharabha, Jambavanta. So you take care of all kinds of monkeys and bears nicely. So take care of Gandamadhana also. So he remembers every monkey general who helped him in the war. He remembered them and he said, no, take care of them nicely. And then Rama also addressed Vibhishana that you have followed the dharma and you fought beside me. Now you go back and you rule the Lanka. So never ever turn your mind towards adharma. So he gives all the nice advice to both Sugriva and Vibhishana. So Vibhishana and Sugriva, they both glorify Ramachandra. And then Hanuman, he bowed down to Rama and he said, "My dear king, I have always great affection for you. I'm fully devoted towards you. I don't feel like going anywhere else. But please give me a boon that as long as this Ramayana is heard on the earth, until that time, the life will reside in my body." Now Rama, he embraced Hanuman and he said, "My dear Hanuman, you are the best among the apes. There is no doubt that whatever you said will happen. As long as there are worlds remaining, my account will also remain. That means Ramayana will remain. As long as this Ramayana travels around the worlds, there is no doubt that the life will reside in your body." So Raghava, Rama, he took off the necklace from around his neck. It was very precious, and he affectionately fastened it around Hanuman's neck. And then Hanuman also kept that necklace very close to his chest with his heart. And then Rama, he embraced Sugriva also and Vibhishana also, and all their voices choked with tears. There were tears in the eyes, and almost all of them were senseless because the time has arrived to go back. So finally, they took the leave of Rama with a heavy heart. They all returned. It mentions here that Hanuman also had left to. It appears that Hanuman also has gone to Kishkinda. Now, Rama, and along with his brothers, he was ruling the Ayodhya. And when he was ruling Ayodhya nicely, one day suddenly Pushpaka Viman, if you remember in the Yuddha Kanda, at the end I mentioned that Rama told Pushpaka Viman to you go and serve your master Kubera. So that the same Pushpaka Viman had returned to Rama, and it stood in the sky and told that, "My dear Ramachandra, whatever you have advised me, I have done it. I have gone. I have returned to my master Kubera." But he said that I have been defeated by Ravana, and he has taken over the possession of you. So you belong to him. But now that Rama had defeated Ravana, so you belong to him right now. So you go back and you serve Ramachandra. Then Rama said, so Pushpaka Viman says that, "I need to serve you now. So please tell me how may I serve?" Then Rama said, "Sure, I'll accept you. So right now I don't need you. So you go wherever you want to desire, you go there. But when I remember you, you please come back." So Pushpaka Viman also paid obeisances. The personified of Pushpaka Viman paid obeisances, and then it left to the place where it wanted to go. And then 1 minute. Okay. So after Pushpaka Vimana was released, it went away. Then the Rama, he entered the Ashokavana, and then the entire chapter, the Valmiki Maharshi mentions how the gardens of Ayodhya were. They were so beautiful. There were hundreds and millions of creepers. There were many types of auspicious plants like the sandalwood tree, mango tree, tunga, the tree with red flowers, tunga, kalikeya, a fragrant wood uh, trees, devadaru trees, priyangus, kadambas, kurubakas, jambus, patalas, govidaras, uh, many different kinds of auspicious plants, trees, and birds were all there in the uh, parks of the groves of Ayodhya. So there were cuckoo birds, bhringarajas, hundreds of other kinds of colorful birds were residing on the branches of mango trees. And just imagine if you decorate uh, a tree with various kinds of colorful flowers, how it looks like that. All the birds, when they were there, they looked so colorful on these trees. So it was a beautiful sight even to behold. So Rama sat down at that time. Uh, Sita also came there. They had very loving exchanges between them. So Rama gave nice juice to Sita Mai. Sita also accepted it. So what happened in due course of time, Sita Devi was became pregnant, and then it is mentioned here that yeah, and then the tasks of what Rama would do and Sita would do. So how he used to, every day morning he used to do his sadhana. Then he would read the scriptures. Then he would conduct a small assembly with the ministers to start that day, and then at noon the various worships that he would do or Sita Mai would do. Then Sita Mai, how she would perform her tasks is all mentioned, that she would go to her mother-in-laws to serve them. So all of them, these things are mentioned. Now one day Sita Mai came there when she knew that she is pregnant. She came and she came in front of Rama, and Rama observed. He said, "Oh Vaidehi, there are signs on you. It looks like as if you're getting an offspring. So I'm very delighted. What do you wish for? What should I do to satisfy your wishes?" Then Sita Mai Vaidehi, other name is Vaidehi. So Vaidehi smiled and she said, "My dear Rama, I wish to see the sacred forests where the hermitages are." So all the places where they had gone, when they were 14 years of exile, they have gone to many sacred hermitages, association of great sages they got, sadhu sangha they got. So now Sita Mai is wishing the same thing, that she wants to have the association of sadhus. She wants to visit those hermitages and at least for one day she wants to stay there. And Rama said, "Sure, there's no doubt about it. Don't worry, you'll go there tomorrow." So saying like this, Janaka's Maithili, she went back to her quarters. So, and then Rama also left for the chambers where they had to conduct some meetings. So at that time, to that sabha, to that court, great, advisors, and they all came, like their names are mentioned. Yet Vijaya, Madhumatta, Kashyapa, Pingala, Kusha, Suraji, Kaliya, Bhadra, Dantavakra, Sumagadha. So they have come and they conversed about many kind things, and there was a lot of laughing also. So in course of their conversation, Rama asked, "My dear Bhadra, what is being talked about us in the city?" What is happening in the kingdom? What do the residents of the city and the countryside, um, what do they say about me? What do the dependents, my dependents, that means all the citizens, what do they say about Sita, Bharata, and Lakshmana? What do they say about Shatrughna and my mother Kaikeyi? He wants to know what they're thinking. Are there any complaints about a king? Because if there is a complaint about the king, then the residents will leave for a new kingdom. So then Bhadra, he joined his hands in salutation and said, the residents and the city, they're always speaking auspicious words. They speak about the victory you have earned after killing Ravana. In their own cities, the citizens are repeatedly conversing about your victories. Then Rama said, the residents of the city, they will utter both agreeable words and disagreeable ones too. So, depending on what they are talking, I will perform auspicious deeds and avoid inauspicious ones. This is how the king must be. What the people are thinking. So because of them, because of depending on how they talk or how they converse, I will perform great, auspicious deeds and avoid inauspicious ones. So don't be scared. Have no fear or anxiety. So tell me what people in the city and the countryside they are speaking about. Then Bhadra, he controlled himself because he was too afraid to tell one thing. He could not utter that. And right now, because Rama asked, he said, my dear king, hear about those agreeable and disagreeable words the citizens are speaking in the crossroads, the forest, and the groves and in the parks. See, in the crossroads, that means on the streets also people are talking, both agreeable and disagreeable. So they are talking, Rama had performed extremely difficult task of building a bridge across the ocean. No demigods or Danavas have ever done this earlier. He killed the invincible Ravana with his forces and his mounts. He brought the monkeys, the bears, and the demons under his subjugation. Ravana, he killed Raghava, who is known for Ravana. He killed Ravana in the battle and he got Sita back. And now he says, but being very tolerable, he again brought Sita back to his own house. What kind of heart does he possess? He finds pleasure and happiness with Sita. Though Ravana had forcibly abducted her earlier, he still takes her up on his lap. She had been taken to Lanka and had been confined in Ashokavana. She had been under the subjugation of the Rakshasas. How can Rama still find or still accept her? Now, because Rama has done this, we also have to tolerate this from our wives. Because the subjects will follow whatever a king does. So Bhadra is saying, my dear king, the residents of the city and the countryside, they're all talking like this. And they're talking many other things. So Raghava, he heard it. He was greatly depressed, afflicted by, from it. He asked all others who were there in that assembly, he asked, do they all say this? Everyone in the assembly, they lowered their heads down on the ground and they bowed before Rama. They said, my dear Rama, yes, they're all talking like this. There is no doubt about it. Then Rama, he was so depressed. He asked all of them to leave. He gave permission them to leave. Then all of them left. After that, Rama, he called the gatekeeper and asked him, please go and get Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna immediately. Then the messengers immediately they go to Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna and give them the orders that Rama had asked them to pass. Then they all come to Rama. So when they came, they saw that Rama's eyes were full of tears. And when they saw the face of Rama, it looked as if all the luster was lost. They could understand why Rama is so down. They lowered their heads at Rama's feet and they greeted him. They all of them controlled themselves and they stood there. And they could see Rama's eyes were full of tears. Then after Rama asked them to, Rama first of all embraced them, then asked them, you please sit here. And he told that, my brothers, you all are everything to me. You are my life. I rule over this kingdom because of what you have done. And all of you are full of intelligence. And then he says, recently I called upon for an assembly with few of our ministers and advisors, and I heard what the citizens are saying about me and Sita. There is great and terrible condemnation among the residents of city and the countryside. It has shattered my inner organs. That means my heart is broken. Inner organs, that means it's not working properly. I have been born in the lineage of great kings like Ikshwaku. In the city, they are conversing about Sita's evil conduct, although it was not. My dear brothers, you know that Ravana abducted Sita in her in the desolate Dandaka forest. And you know that he was destroyed by me. Saumitri, Lakshmana, you yourself saw that the demigods, the Vayu, everyone, they declared Sita to be devoid of sin. In the presence of demigods, all the rishis, the moon, the sun, they confirmed. They said that Janaki, that Sita Mai, is devoid of all sin. In the presence of demigod, the Gandharvas, in the island of Lanka, Indra, who is pure in conduct in my hands, he kept Sita Mai into my hands. I know in my inner soul, I know that Sita is pure. That is the reason I accepted Vaidehi and returned to Ayodhya. But now this grief is shattering my heart. So, you see, what the people are talking. The people are talking that Sita Mai may not be pure. It's such an offense, great offense. And that is the reason why Rama had even conducted Agni Pariksha, asked Sita Mai to enter into the fire. She is so pure that even fire could not touch her. In spite of that, people are still talking this way. So this is the nature of this material world. That to blaspheme others, even though so many good things have happened, they look at only bad things. the deterioration. Prabhupada says that in in one of the purport, it's the nature of the material world to deteriorate, to fall down. That's why after every yuga cycle, Mahayuga, it starts with Satya Yuga, auspicious one. It falls down to the Kali Yuga. So now here in Ayodhya, the Kosala kingdom, even the countryside, people are talking that we have to face this from our wives also. Okay. And then Rama now is saying that I'm terrified of this situation. I'm prepared to give up my life and all of you. What to speak of Janaki? This is the reason why you're seeing me in total grief. And Rama is saying, I do not see any other misery that can be greater than this. Even Sita Devi's abduction was not this heavy, this terrible as now, as people are talking. Now he calls for Lakshmana. Lakshmana, Saumitri, tomorrow morning, ask Sumantra to prepare a chariot. You ascend it with Sita Mayi and leave Sita at the end of the kingdom. Because at the end of the kingdom, the Valmiki Maharshi has a hermitage there on the bank of Ganga. It is like a heaven. It is located on the banks of Tamasa. So both, it's where almost Tamasa river and Ganga river, where they both join. That is where Valmiki Maharshi's ashrama, hermitage is there. So leave her in that place. And after doing that, you quickly return. You act in accordance with my words. Don't counteract me at all about Sita. If you try to restrain me, I will be greatly displeased. I am urging all of you on my arms and on my life that after I have stopped speaking, you do not entreat me in any way. Don't ask me to take away my words or not do it. If you respect me, you will follow my commands. So tomorrow you take away Sita. Because Sita, she had earlier told me that she wants to see the great hermitages located on the banks of Ganga. So her wish will also be satisfied. As Rama was talking like this, tears were flowing from his eyes. So, surrounded by his brothers, he then left to his, he entered his chambers. So now Lakshmana, the entire night, he spent the night with so much of distress, and he was miserable in his mind, and his mouth was getting dried up. So, and then Lakshmana, he ordered Sumantra that, Sumantra, you prepare a nice chariot, cover it with very auspicious seats, with various breads that Sita can come here and then she can comfortably sit. So Sumantra prepared the nice chariot. And Lakshmana, then he entered in the next day morning, he entered the royal residence and told to Sita Mai, my dear queen, we have been commanded by the king to take you quickly to all the auspicious hermitages of the sages on the banks of Ganga. So she also felt very happy. Yes, my husband said, okay. And she took all extremely expensive garments and many kinds of jewels. And she told, I'm no, please, Lakshmana, we'll all get all this because I want to give all these great gifts and ornaments to the wives of all the sages. So Saumitri also agreed. And he made Sita Devi to ascend the chariot. And remembering Rama's command, they quickly left on the chariot. Then, as they were going, Sita Mai observed many inauspicious signs, bad omens. She said, "I can see many inauspicious signs, Lakshmana. My right eye is twitching, it's vibrating. There's trembling on my right side." So that's a bad omen. For a woman, if it is on the left side of any vibration, then it is good. Right side is bad. For men, the right side is good and the left side is bad. So I see all these bad omens, and this is creating one kind of fear in me. I hope your brother is well. I hope all my mother-in-laws, they're all good. All the creatures in the city and the countryside, they are well. And then she started praying to the demigods, please take care of all of them. Lakshmana, he's sitting there. Sumantra also. Both of them knew this. And Lakshmana is weeping. But he couldn't show that to Sita Mai. Lakshmana was sitting in front along with Sumantra to ride the horses. So but Lakshmana said, "Don't worry, my mother. Everything is well. Everybody is good." So they took that entire day. They traveled, and that night they reached one particular hermitage on the banks of Gomati River. And in the morning, again, they ascended the chariot, and they left towards the Ganga River. So after traveling for a half a day, Lakshmana, he saw they reached the river, Ganga River, and one moment. Yeah. So they reached the banks of the Ganga River. At that time, Lakshmana was so miserable in his mind, he wept very loudly. Sita Mai saw, and she said, "Lakshmana, what happened? Why are you weeping, lamenting like this? We have reached the banks of Jahnavi, that is Ganga, and have wished to see this for a very long time. This is the time for joy. Why are you distressed? You always have remained at the Rama's feet. Are you filled with grief because you are away from him for 2 nights? I also love Rama more than my own life, but I am not crying like this. So don't be childish. No, make me cross this Ganga, and help me to see all the great sages, and I will give them all these expensive garments and ornaments and gifts. I will honor those sages as they deserve. So after spending one night there in the hermitage, we will return to the city again." So hearing this, Lakshmana, he wiped his eyes, and using a boat, Lakshmana and Sita Devi, they crossed the Ganga. So Nishadas, they were the forest dwellers. They prepared, brought a very large boat. So then Lakshmana, he made Sita Mai to first climb that boat, and then he also boarded the boat. And then Lakshmana told Sumantra, "You stay with the chariot on this side." So after dropping Sita Mai, I'll come. But he didn't say all that to for Sita Mai to hear. Anyways, so now he asked the boatman to steer the boat. So now all of them, they reached the other bank of the Ganga, and as soon as Sita Mai, she got down, she came to the little inside of the banks. Lakshmana, he was again lamenting. His voice choked, and he addressed Maithili. He said, "Oh Vaidehi, my dear Sita, as a result of what people are saying, the noble and intelligent one, that is Rama, he has asked me to do something that is giving me a great pain in my heart. It is better for me to die now. Death would be superior to this. Please show me some favors, but do not be angry with me when I say this." Joining his hands and prostrating, he fell. No, he paid obeisances to Sita Mai, and he said that I desire death for myself. And Sita Mai became very anxious and said, "Lakshmana, what happened? I'm not able to understand all this. Tell me the truth. I can see that you are not well. Is everything well with the king? In the name, promise me in the name of the king, of Lord Ram, tell me the truth. Why you are crying like this?" Then so when Vaidehi took the pledge like this, Lakshmana's senses were even more distressed. So his face with his words was choking because of the tears. So he said, "My dear Janaki," that is Sita Mai, in the midst of all the courtiers and the ministers, Ramachandra heard the extremely terrible condemnation that is being voiced about you by the residents of the city and the residents of the countryside. My dear Queen, I cannot utter those words again in front of you. I have turned my back on those intolerant words. I'm ignoring them. I've forgotten them already. I cannot even recount them. As far as I am concerned, you are very innocent. But because of those words, the king has cast you aside. Lord Rama had asked me to leave you here and come back. I will have to leave you at the end of this hermitage. Though you are expecting, that means Sita Mai was pregnant. Okay, maybe just the 3 months of 3 months pregnant. I will have to leave you here at the end of this hermitage and have to return. Please do not grieve. Dasharatha was my father, and this Brahmana Valmiki, he was a great friend of our father Dasharatha Maharaj. So you can happily seek refuge at the feet of this great soul, Maharshi. My dear Sita Mai, Janaki, fast with you may fast, and with great attentiveness, please reside here in this hermitage. Always keep Rama in your heart. In this way, you will obtain a great benefit. So Janaki, she understood. And she heard Lakshmana's terrible words. So when she heard it, she fell down unconscious. So she regained her senses after a while, but her eyes were full of tears. With a very distressed voice, Janaki, she told to Lakshmana, "My dear Lakshmana, looks like the Creator has created my body for the sake of suffering only. Suffering. Only for suffering, He has created this body. All my, today, the misery has manifested itself before me. What crime have I committed in an earlier life? Whom have I separated from his wife? I'm pure in conduct, but the king has abandoned me. Earlier, I resided in the hermitage following Rama's footstep. There was misery there, but even then I controlled it. I controlled because I was with Ramachandra. Now, how will I dwell in this hermitage alone? Tell me. Can I handle this grief? How will I tell the sage about the injury the king has done to me? How can I tell the reason why Rama had abandoned me? Looks like Saumitri, Lakshmana, I should not remain alive. I should give up my life in the waters of Ganga. But if I do so, the lineage, the royal lineage will laugh at me. My husband means the other lineage. And he said, I'm carrying the royal lineage of Rama in my womb. So I cannot die also. See, for Sita Mai, getting abducted, being abandoned by Rama was much more painful than being abducted by Ravana. So she could not control herself. But Lakshmana, do what you have been commanded to. I will suffer my misery, whatever is destined to me. Abandon me. Follow the instructions of the king. However, listen to my words. I am. Please offer my. I'm joining my hands in a salutation before my mother-in-laws. Ask them to accept this honor. I'm bowing my head down and worshipping at their feet. Ask about their welfare and that of Lord Ramachandra also. Lakshmana, behave towards your citizens as you behave towards your brother. I'm not grieving over my own body now, but let my husband Ramachandra, let him get free from the condemnation of the citizens. When Sita Mai was saying like this, Lakshmana's senses were afflicted. He bowed again on the ground in front of Sita Mai, and he was incapable of saying anything. So he was weeping in a very loud voice, and then he circumambulated Sita Mai, and then he paid obeisances again, and he mounted the boat, and he asked the boatman to leave. So bearing all that burden of sorrow, he reached the northern bank. And then he quickly ascended the chariot and repeatedly, when the chariot was going, he glanced back towards Sita. And Lakshmana saw that she was writhing around. Sita Mai was weeping on the banks of Ganga. And Lakshmana was repeatedly looking back towards her. So then when she was crying like that, the sons of the sage, or the sons of the disciples, I would say, the disciples of Valmiki Maharshi, they saw Sita Mai weeping there. And they rushed to Valmiki Maharshi. And they told him, my dear Valmiki Maharshi, my dear Guru Maharaj, we have never seen anything like this before. There is a wife who is like Shri. That means like Lakshmi herself. She is she is confounded and she is lamenting here. It is best that you come and see for yourself. She's like goddess who has been dislodged from the sky. We do not think that she's human. We should go and, please welcome her with the proper rites. Then Valmiki, he used his insights, the energy, and he, with his power, he understood everything. He meditated and he got the answers for all the things. Oh, it is Sita Mai who has been abandoned here. So immediately Valmiki, along with his disciples, he went to that place just on the outside of the hermitage. And he said, my dear queen, oh Dasharatha's daughter-in-law, oh my dear Rama's queen, Janaka's daughter. So he addressed her with all these words: queen, Dasharatha's daughter-in-law, Rama's queen, Janaka's daughter. Oh, one who is devoted to her husband, welcome. Because of my austerities, I have got to know that you have come here, and my heart has got to know about all the reasons. You don't have to tell me anything. I know that you are devoid of any sin. You are pure in sentiments. You have now come to me. My hermitage is purified, and it is not very far from here. And in the hermitage, they used to have a different ashrama for all the women folk also, so that the women and the men, they don't mix. All the brahmacharis, they don't mix with women. So all the Matajis used to have a separate a place in the hermitage. So don't be scared. Please have no anxiety. You reside here in this hermitage. Do not lament. Do not grieve. Think that it is in your own home. See, actually, it is mentioned that when in Bhagavad Gita also, in the first chapter, it is mentioned that the father-like personalities of Pandavas were also there in the opposite army. Who are the father-like personalities? If their father has already died, then how are there the father-like personalities are there? That means the father's friends of his generation who are very close to his father, they're also there. So actually Valmiki Maharshi, in fact, it is he's a very close friend of Dasharatha Maharaj. So it means that he is also of the father-like person for Rama. And that means he's also a father-in-law for Sita Mai. So you see the arrangement. And although she was abandoned, but abandoned to a father-like personality, that means actually she has not been abandoned. Although for the outward world, it looks like she has been abandoned from the kingdom, and this hermitage is on the outskirts. So for a normal person, it looks like she's abandoned, but she was in the hermitage of a father-like person. So when Sita heard all these words uttered by the sage, then she bowed her head down at his feet, and joining her hands, she agreed. And the sage, along with with his disciples, they brought her to the hermitage of the women, and the ascetics who were there in that Mataji's ashram, they saw the sage was coming and Vaidehi was following him. So extremely happy, they came there and they spoke. They said, my dear sages, you have come to our ashram after a long time. All of us are greeting you. Tell us what we should do. Then Valmiki Maharshi said, Sita, who is the wife of Ramachandra, she has arrived. She is Dasharatha's daughter-in-law, and she is Janaka Maharaj's daughter. Though she is innocent, she has been abandoned by her husband. So she must always be protected by me. Look towards her with great affection. In particular, you always honor her. So, and then Valmiki Maharshi repeatedly she assured Sita Mai of her safety and all that. And then that kind of actually consoled Vaidehi Sita Mai a bit. After that, then surrounded by his disciples, then Valmiki Maharshi, he returned to his own hermitage. Then after seeing that Sita Mai had entered the hermitage, then Lakshmana was able to see from the other side all this. So Lakshmana was distressed. He was overcome with a terrible and severe torment. Then he spoke to Sumantra, the charioteer. I don't know how will I ever be able to go through this misery. And he shared what is the sin, or why does Vaidehi and Rama have to go through all this. And he said maybe the destiny is very strong. Nobody can ever cross over destiny. Destiny is impossible to cross. When Rama is angry, he can kill the demigods, the Gandharvas, Asuras, and Rakshasas. But now he also has to follow the destiny. Earlier, because of my father's command, he had to reside for 14 years in the terrible forest. And now, on hearing the words of the citizens, this exile of Sita is a greater misery and grief than that. My dear Sumantra, how can this deed, such a terrible deed, what Rama had asked me to do, how can it be based on dharma? He asked the question. Rama says, Lakshmana is asking, how is it dharmic? He acted in this way towards Maithili only because citizens have spoke such injurious words. And then Lakshmana told many other things also. So hearing all those, Sumantra, he joined his hands and he said, Lakshmana, don't be tormented like this. In front of your father, great Brahmana has mentioned about this earlier. He said that Rama's misery would be very lasting and he would have very few friends. And after some time, this great one, Rama, with dharma in his soul, he would have to abandon you. That means Lakshmana, yourself, Maithili, Shatrughna, and Bharata also. Lakshmana, you can mention this to even to Bharata also. So once what happened, that Durvasa had come. So in the presence of that great king, Vasishtha and me, the Durvasa Muni has spoken these words. So on hearing the Rishi's words, Dasharath Maharaj told me, my dear charioteer, Sumantra, never reveal this in front of the people. So I controlled myself and never acted contrary to the words spoken by Dasharath Maharaj. I should not have revealed it in front of you either. But I felt that it is time now for you to listen. So he told me about the secret earlier. But nevertheless, I will tell you again. So then hearing this, Lakshmana said, yes, please tell me why this is happening. So now the Sumantra, he starts telling the reason why uh, Rama and Sita have to go through. Okay, I'll stop here.